How's it, guys? Welcome back to Firemasters UK. It's another super sunny day in Kent, and today we've got a very special guest. It's my business partner and co-founder of Firemasters, Ian Moffat. Thanks for joining us today, my bro.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Why don't you tell our viewers a little bit more about this wood and what it is you're going to be cooking on today?
So the wood, firstly, is called Sekelbos. It's from Namibia. It's an invader bush. So by chopping down these trees, we're actually doing something good for the environment. And why I like cooking with it is because it really imparts a really good flavor. The right amount of smoke, and the logs are a little bit smaller, which gives me a little bit more control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like cooking on Sekelbos as well. You can see all of these logs have been split down the middle. I mean, when they come out of Namibia, they're actually quite big and almost as big as the Camille. But we find by splitting these down the middle, you get a little bit more control over your fire, don't you? I mean,
yeah.
You can see the different sizes here. So with this particular fire here, we've started with about 8 logs this size.
Yeah.
I believe later on in the cook, you're going to be moving to some
the
smaller logs
things.
like this.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Well, why don't you talk us through what you're going to be doing here today? I believe you're going to be showing us how to do a meal for a family of 4 on the barbecue that costs less than £10. Talk to us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that's the idea. So if you're just at home with a family, wife and kids, I've got wife and 2 kids, it's something we might do on a Sunday, just get a chicken from the local store and some root veg, maybe carrots, butternut, potatoes, all finely chopped, some onions, garlic, and we'll throw a little bit of salt on there as well. And that's really it. And what will happen is we're going to cook the chicken. When you cook chicken on a barbecue, it should be indirect heat. So we're going to have coals on either side of the chicken, but the juices from the chicken are going to fall into this tray of vegetables. It's a really easy cook, and it's on a budget. I think it costs us less than a tenner for all the ingredients.
Awesome. So why don't you talk to us a little bit more about what's in here? We've obviously saved a bit of time with the preparation, but I mean, that doesn't look too complicated.
No, it's not complicated at all. So what we have here is just the root veg. There's some potato, there's some carrots, then we've got butternut as well, and we've got some onions. It's important that the potato and the butternut are finely chopped, just so that they can cook through. And then some large chunks of onion, and then we just throw some salt on it. So it's really a simple dish. And where it's really going to get its flavor is from the juices from the chicken, and obviously through the firewood. And we also have some whiskey wood chips that'll give some flavor. Okay, so that's the vegetables. They're easy to prepare. And now I'm going to move on to how to spatchcock a chicken, which is also pretty easy to do, and I'll just take you through that.
Awesome. So I've tried to spatchcock a chicken before, just using a big knife. It's quite a mission to do it that way. I've never actually tried it with the kitchen scissors, so I'll be interested to see how you've done it.
Okay, so we've got some pretty sharp kitchen scissors. They need to be sharp because you're going to be cutting through bones. But what you're looking for is the Pope's nose, or the parson's nose, depending where you're from. I don't know, this poor chap has lost his. But anyway, we're gonna cut over there like that, and then down like that, and then like that. And then after that, we'll squish it down. So you're looking for that, and you're just gonna cut along that bone there. Need a little bit of.
There we go. You can see why you need sharp scissors.
Yeah.
So you're basically cutting out the spine there, aren't you?
Yeah. Now you're going to want to turn it over.
Yeah.
And try to keep it all together without breaking it too much. Yeah. And then you're going to want to break it there. So you just want to crack it a bit there. So once you've heard the crack, then it's spatchcocked. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, and you'll see we've got the nice big breast on the side there.
Yeah.
And then what we do is we just butter it up, and with some butter, and whatever seasoning you like. Today we're going with minted Moroccan herby blend from All Seasons Barbecue, but you can use whatever you like. Sometimes I use some Jamaican jerk chicken. I think that works really well.
Nice.
Okay, so we're just gonna now butter the chicken, and then we'll put in some herbs in a second. Yeah. Okay, so be quite liberal with your butter. So butter all over in the gaps. Okay, and use your hands. You will always wash your hands later. Okay, and then some spice, some seasoning. Yeah, be liberal with the spices, and then rub it in. It's called a rub, so rub it.
Absolutely.
Looking good. Okay, so there our chicken is prepared. We're gonna put it on the barbecue this way around, like that, and we're gonna put it in the center of the barbecue.
All right, great. So what's next?
So we're just gonna season the veg.
Okay.
Then we'll part the coals like Moses, and then we are gonna put our chicken in the middle.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it. All right, so that's just some granular sea salt. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Okay. Let's sort out the fire, Mike.
All right. All right, Ian, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your braai?
Okay, so well, it's just, again, it's just a Weber. It's bought from the high street. I think got off the internet for 100 to 150 pounds.
Yeah.
Why you want to use it for chicken is just it has the kettle, and so it'll act like an oven, and it'll keep the smoke inside there. Yeah, it's a really neat piece of kit. Yeah, and it's perfect for cooking a whole chicken.
Perfect. All right. Tell me, what's the shovel for?
The shovel. The shovel is what I'm going to do is I'm going to part the coals. When they get grayed over like this, it's ready to cook. You do want it over a medium heat. You don't want it over a very high heat, and you also don't want to cook directly under the chicken. So you don't want the heat directly under the chicken. So we're just going to part it, and you'll need a spade to do it. Don't try to do it with tongs.
Oh, you burn your handle.
Yeah.
Especially with braai wood.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to split the coals on either side, like this, and you kind of want an even amount of coals on either side. Okay, I think that's, you obviously want a space inside in between, which will fit your tray of veg.
Yeah.
So that should do. Okay, so we're just going to heat the grill, so we're not putting the meat on cold. So I'm just going to put the grill on for a moment.
Okay.
You'll notice, Mikey, how I've got the holes on either side there, just above the coals, because we might be dropping in little bits of wood in there, and later we'll also be putting in some wood chips. So it's quite handy to have the holes on the side.
Okay, so make sure the holes are directly above the coals.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, so the braai is nice and hot, and the grid will be hot as well. So I think it's time to put in our vegetables.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so I'm going to lift the grid, and you would want fire gloves or just really carefully lift the grid because it is hot. I'm just going to put it on the ground next to the barbecue here. Mike, can you please put in the veg?
Sure,
just
all
plonk
right, so
it in the
these
middle.
just go straight down the middle.
Down the middle, that's it.
It's hot.
That's it.
Okay.
You can have nice, like that. Okay, and then we'll put the grid back on.
Nice.
There we go. Okay, we're going to put the
Thank you.
chicken down the middle over the veg.
Okay.
Yeah, try and get it directly over, nice and neat. What we have is the chicken directly over the veggies like that. You can see that the coals are on either side, so there's no coals underneath that.
So that's indirect heat.
Yeah, it's indirect heat, medium heat, and we're going to try maintain that heat a bit. But the idea is we put the lid on, leave it for an hour and a half, and you should have vegetables that are done and a chicken that's done.
And with these braais, you've obviously got vents underneath and on the top. What are we going to do with the vents?
Keep them all open.
All
You want them open throughout the braai.
All right, let's do it. Let's put the lid on. Okay.
Okay, I'm just going to put it on the lid, and then we will be leaving it for an hour and a half, maybe check every half an hour just to make sure the temperature's right.
All right, awesome. So the chicken's on. We've got 90 minutes to kill. I think that's our cue to get a beer.
Yep,
Let's go.
Let's do that.
All right, guys, so it's been about 30 minutes. We've enjoyed a nice, cold, frosty beverage in this warm summer sun. And I think it's time to check on the chicken. Ian, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to check every half an hour. You want to keep the lid on for as much as possible, but check it every half an hour, and that's what we're going to do. If the fire's down a bit, we'll put some more logs on there.
All right, let's have a look.
Okay. It's looking all right, looking good. We just need to put a little bit more heat on there. So we're going to put on some smaller logs like this, just on the sides, which is quite handy to have a few smaller logs in the bag. So if we can fit that in there.
There you go. All right, so I see why you positioned the holes of the grid.
Yeah,
like
that just keeps your fire going a bit.
I mean, we've got some heat there. We've still got some heat. You can see it's obviously a slower cook.
Yep.
Those logs will catch light and just provide a little bit more heat as we go through the next 30 minutes.
Wait for them to catch a little bit. It's okay if there's a small flame, but just make sure they catch. If there's a small flame on either side, that's no problem at all. We're going to put the lid on anyway. So
cool. And I think just to add there, I mean, the key is just to make sure that the lid's off, get some oxygen in there.
Yeah.
Make sure the wood catches before the lid goes on, otherwise it might smolder.
Yeah.
But I think we're ready to put the lid back on, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to put the lid back on there. And we'll check it again in half an hour.
All right, guys, so it's been another half an hour. That's 60 minutes in total. You said it should be around 90 minutes, and then we were going to check every 30 minutes. So let's have a look underneath and see how it's going with the chicken.
Okay, it's been an hour altogether so far. You can see the smoke coming out. That's from the last couple logs that we put on. Okay, yeah, you can see it's browning, it's taking shape, starting to look quite good.
Smells amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the wood that we put on recently is not going to be cooked through, but it's giving some really nice smoke. And there's still some medium heat coming off, which is what you want.
Okay, so what do you reckon? Another half an hour?
Another half an hour, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, give or take. Actually, I think in about 20 minutes what we'll do is we'll start putting in some whiskey wood chips.
All right.
Because that'll get some additional flavour in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to soak some wood chips in water, and then when there's roughly 10 minutes to go, we'll put them down the sides.
Sounds good. All right, see you guys back in 20 minutes.
We're going to do a temperature check just to check that it's cooked, and then what I'd also like to do is put in some whiskey wood chips for the last 10 or 15 minutes, but I'd like to be checking the temperature at this point. Okay. What we're looking for is 74 degrees is when it's meant to be cooked, and this is a piece of it just bought off Amazon. It costs less than £5. Hoping it will hover somewhere between 70 and 80.
Oh, you go 71.
It's pretty much bang on the money. I think with another 15 minutes or so, like we're talking about with the wood chips, it'll be at temp, and then we should be good.
All right, so should we do some wood chips then?
Yeah, let's put in some wood chips.
All right, so for this last piece, we're going to be using our whiskey wood chips. These are made from authentic Scotch whiskey barrels. We actually source the barrels from the Scotch whiskey distilleries in Scotland, bring them down here where we break them up into small 1 centimeter cubed pieces. And what we do is we soak them in some water for about 10-15 minutes and then put them onto the hot coals. So, Ian, show us what you're going to do.
Well, I've already got it prepared there, but we're just looking for a handful of wood chips. We're not looking for much more than that. If you pass the bowl there, please, Mike.
So these have been soaking for about
They've been
15
soaking.
minutes.
They're soaking water deliberately, and that's because we want them to create smoke. You'll remember that we've got the side bits here, and that's where we're going to put these. And we're just going to pop those in there. You can hear them sizzling. That's obviously the damp wood. We're hoping that they're going to create quite a nice amount of smoke. 3 or 4 on either side.
I can already smell the smoke coming off there.
Okay, so now we're going to want to close it up and give it another 10 minutes and we should be done.
All right. All right, guys, so it's been another 10 minutes. I can see that whiskey smoke coming out of the top. We can smell it, smelling awesome. I think this is done. What do you reckon, Ian?
Yeah, I think it's done. Let's have a look.
Oh, that's the perfect color.
Yeah, that looks pretty good to me.
All right, let's take it off. Oh, it's looking awesome. Smells amazing.
Yeah, looks good. The juices from the chicken, you can see it's in the veg.
I can see it.
Looks pretty good, smells good. Chicken looks good. Yeah, and all for under a tenner.
I know, I can't believe it. So cheap.
Yeah, we'll feed your family of 4.
Well done.
Cool. Cheers.